This video is to go over how to install ExtremePOS. This demo assumes that you are going to, or this video assumes that you are going to be installing the demo version, but the only real difference if you are installing the full retail version comes at the register step. You'll start by downloading the compressed zip folder from our website. This can be downloaded by going through the free trial form. As you can see, it's about 4 to 5 megs depending on the exact version. This is not the full program. Instead, it actually allows you to download other components if necessary. Once you have the file, you can right-click it and go to Extract All and extract it somewhere to a location of your choice. And then within that folder, you will run Setup. You will right-click it and hit Run as Administrator, or if you double-click it, it should prompt you to do so. If you have to install components, which can vary depending on your particular system, then you'll just need to agree to the license agreement for those components. These will take just a minute to download and then install, and the video will continue from there. Once you have installed all the prerequisite components, you will see a screen like this. Welcome to the Setup Wizard. You'll just want to follow along. You can select a location in which to put the file, and it will install ExtremePOS. This is the launcher application, which will also download and install the other portions of the software. As you may take just a moment to install, but this portion should be relatively quick. You'll notice that it has placed an icon on the desktop for ExtremePOS. At this time, you should run that. You will receive an error saying that you must specify or install a database server before you proceed. Assuming that this is a demo or that this is the first station of a retail system, then you will want to install the database server. Otherwise, you'll be selecting your existing database server from your primary station. In this case, we have several others on this network, so it does offer us the option, but we are going to select Install ExtremePOS SQL Server and Express Instance on this computer. When we hit OK, it will ask if we are certain we wish to do that, and if you say yes, it will then proceed to download the SQL Server Express software. This will take several minutes, and so we will leap forward. As you can see, it is finished downloading the SQL Server. It is now going into the install of it. It is extracting the files. Once it finishes extracting the files, which depending on your computer can take a few minutes, then it will automatically run it, and we'll get into that portion. If you're on Windows XP, as opposed to our sample system here, which is Windows 7, it may prompt you for a file which you have to download and install in order to install SQL Server. In the event that it does this, then you'll just want to follow the link on that message, install it, and then rerun the software. It may require a reboot in order to install the Windows update required. Since this is a Windows 7 machine, obviously that's not going to happen, and the installation will come right up here in a minute. The entire setup process takes, depending on your system, about an hour. much of that time is dependent upon your network connection speed, as there are about 120 megabytes worth of files that get downloaded during the installation procedure, about half of which are this SQL Server and about half of which are ExtremePOS system components, which we will come up to the core components section of the program later. Once the SQL Server setup screen comes up, you'll need to agree to the license terms of Microsoft SQL Server. You may read these above here. We will not go through them now. It will proceed through setting up several support files, and then you will have the installation button become active here momentarily. In this case, we're just going to accept all of the defaults, as we are not on any sort of complex system. After the SQL Server finishes installing, it'll come back up to the screen you were on before. At this point, if you've accepted all of the defaults for the instance name, you should be able to just use ExtremePOS SQL Server Express instance, and you'll want to pick the computer name / ExtremePOS. That computer name should match with your server, which, if you just installed SQL, is the computer you're on. In this case, the computer is named POS Register 1. Hit OK when you're ready. It will then ask, has ExtremePOS Core been installed on your system? Core are the components we were discussing earlier. If this is the first time you've seen this question, then the correct answer is no. If you say yes, then they're not there, then it's not going to work. So you say no, and it will offer you the option to select OK to install the core components. At this point, it will download them. This is the other half of the download I was discussing a bit ago. It is about another 60 megabytes, and the amount of time it takes is obviously going to just depend on your internet connection speed. Once it finishes downloading, it will launch the install. On 7 or Vista, this is fine. However, on XP, it will present you with a box which allows you to select a user. One notable thing there, you have to uncheck the box that says to protect the system from unauthorized changes, because that actually prevents the installer from running. As you can see, it launches into another installer, which you'll just need to follow through with. This one should go rather quickly. You'll just need to fill in a default user and a username and company name. And once again, you can change the location to which it installs if you need to. This install should only take a few minutes. Once it's finished, you'll actually have to manually run the main program again. But at this point, you are almost done with the install. This time, when it asks if the core files have been installed in your system, you can say yes. You will want to browse to the location at which you save them. If you save them to the default location, it should just automatically load up into there. And you just select the eposcore.exe file in that directory. At this point, you have to register, whether it's a demo or not. So just say yes. If it is a demo, then select demo. If it is a licensed copy, then you will need to enter your serial number provided by Extreme Point of Sale Inc. We're doing a demo copy here. Here's the edition selection at which you may choose whether you are installing an ExtremePOS Musicware or Praise demo. In this case, we will do ExtremePOS. And then if you have a customer number provided from ExtremePOS, then you can enter it there. Most commonly that's going to be the case with a license number. For most demos, you're going to want to select a new customer and fill out this form. You will want to leave the dealer ID blank unless you have been instructed otherwise. Hit register and it will come up with registration successful. At this point, the login screen should appear. In order to proceed with the program, you can just go log into POS, hit continue. You will want to set the location of a shared files directory. Most commonly, you'll want to put this in documents or my documents or something of that nature, possibly under its own subfolder. You will need to fill out a tax rate. The default administrator password is admin, ADMIN. You will need to fill out a tax rate description for all three, regardless of whether or not you have 3 different sales taxes. It will actually warn you that you have some set at 0, but that is okay. You can enter whatever you'd like for your store ID up to a 4-digit number. And then it will update the database. You must select a station ID, which will default to 1. And you will finally be at the login screen, ready to use the program. Again, the default password is admin, ADMIN, and we would recommend that you consult our other videos to see how to proceed from here.